morning, students. Welcome back once again to class 9 Force and Laws of Motion. In the previous video we studied about the Galileo's experiment and Newton's first law of motion. The Newton's first law of motion was related to inertia, okay? And what is inertia? We are going to study that in a moment. But first, once again, let's revise the first law of motion. It states that the object in rest will remain in rest and the object in motion will remain in motion unless it is acted upon by an external unbalanced force. It means that if the object is in rest, it will remain in rest, and if the object is in motion, it will remain in motion if and if only you do not apply an external unbalanced force. So whatever its state of motion, whether it is rest, uniform motion, whatever it is, with whatever velocity, it doesn't matter. The object will remain in that velocity in uniform motion, or if it is in rest, that means 0 velocity, 0 meters per second, still it will remain in 0 meters per second unless you apply an external unbalanced force. So if you are not applying any kind of unbalanced force, then the object will not move, okay? It will remain in its state. Now coming back to my first word, which is known as inertia. What is inertia? Inertia is a property of an object, whether living, non-living, it doesn't matter. It is the property of an object to remain in its state. That means it will try to resist the change in its state. Okay? So if on an object you are trying to apply the force and you feel difficulty in moving that object, that means its inertia is not allowing you to move that object. Its inertia is not allowing you to push that object and change its position. So inertia is the tendency of an object by which it resists the change in its state. So whatever the state, if the object is in rest and if the object is in motion, okay, it doesn't matter, because it will remain in that state because its inertia is keeping that object in its state. If you are trying to move this object, its inertia will stop you to move that object. And if this object is motion and it wants to remain in motion, its inertia is motion. So if you apply an unbalanced force on this object, then the inertia of this moving object will not allow or will resist the change in its state. If whatever force you are applying, the inertia will try to stop it. Okay? Now, of course, what does this inertia depends on? How can you say that the inertia is more or less? So for example, if you have two objects that are identical to each other, okay? So let's say that I have one of the object in a shape of box and I have another exact same box with same dimensions. But the difference is that this box is empty and this box is filled with different types of stuff. Now when it is empty, that means it is not completely empty. There is air inside. That means gases are still inside this object. And this one is filled with different objects. So let's say that there are different solid objects filled inside this. So this is made up of solid substance. Okay? Now when you try to push or change the state, when you are applying an unbalanced force on these two objects, the exact same force, let's say that you are applying a force of 20 newtons on both these objects one by one. Okay? So we all know which one will be easier to move. This one, the one with the gaseous state, will be very easier to move. Okay? And the only reason for that is because of the mass of the two objects. Now we need to understand mass, because we have studied or used this word many times in the past. What is mass? It is the amount of matter contained inside an object. Whatever the object is, what is the matter inside that object gives us its mass. Okay, the amount of matter inside an object gives us its mass. So in this case, the mass of this box is much more than the mass of this box. Okay, now remember one thing, people have an understanding that mass and weight are same. They are not. Okay, we will study about this in detail when we start studying gravitational chapter. Okay, so mass and weight are totally different thing. Yes, it is true that if you have more mass, your weight is more. So if this object is having more mass, that means its weight is more. But we are not talking about the weight of an object. We are talking about the mass of an object. So if we are applying the force on both of these objects, we know which one will be easier to move. That is the one with the gases. Okay? Because solid substance has more mass, because more particles are inside this box, and therefore this object will have much more mass compared to this one. Hence, the inertia of this object will be more. So we can say that if the object has more mass, then it has more inertia. It has more inertia. If the object has more mass, that means it has more inertia. If the object has less mass, like this object, then it has less inertia. It has less inertia. So, the inertia of an object depends on the mass of the object. More mass means more inertia, and less mass means less inertia. We will have more difficulty in moving an object with more inertia, that is having more mass. Another simple example for you. If you have two vehicles, one of them is a truck and one of them is a car. If both of them breaks down, two persons can push a car and move and change its position. But if a truck breaks down, then two people might not be enough. You will require 4, 5, 6 people to move a truck from its position, because it is having more mass and therefore its inertia is more. So if two persons are applying the force as well, still the mass of the object is so much more that that much amount of force is not, you can say, sufficient to change its inertia. Okay, so if the mass is more, then inertia is more, and hence sometimes the force might not be sufficient or enough to change its state. I hope this simple topic is clear to you, students. Quite easy.